they talk about doing all this building, but they don't have any building permits to actually do any building, and they have challenges even getting those building permits.
This is a tweet from AG. This is a tweet from the Pam Bondi commentary account, not from Pam Bondi officially. But listen to this. Breaking. Governor Greg Abbott, Texas governor, has officially halted construction of the 402-acre Muslim-only Epic City in Texas. Now, I covered this a couple weeks ago, that Epic City was going to be a Muslim-only city outside of Dallas, right on the outskirts of Dallas. They were talking about how they were going to make it Muslim only. It's antithetical to the Constitution of the United States. It's completely counter to everything that any of our ancestors ever came to America before, or at least most of our ancestors came to America before. But don't take my word for it. Here's a portion of the video from the Epic City backers, funders.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brothers and sisters, I'm sure many of you have heard of the amazing project that we're doing known as Epic Cities. We are, alhamdulillah, constructing an entire city half an hour from downtown Dallas, literally 30 minutes from our own Plano Masjid over here. It's going to be a city of over 1,000 people. Alhamdulillah, we launched this website last year and we sold the entire phase 1 within days. Brothers and sisters, this is a limited time opportunity. It is an amazing time to invest for the future, not only in yourselves, but of your children after you. We are inshallah ta'ala going to change the entire da'wah scene by demonstrating to the world what it means to be a Muslim living in the West.
Well, I don't think it means to be a Muslim living in the West. It means that you get to have your own city where other people can't come, where if you buy a house there, that some of the money has to go to the local mosque or anything else. That's actually completely antithetical to the American belief system. But this has been going on, and there's been a big fight about it now. And by the way, putting aside, okay, so they're not going to allow Muslims there. How do you think it's going to work for women in a community like that? How do you think it's going to work for gays in a community like that? Putting aside that they're not going to sell houses to Christians or Jews or Baha'i or Jainists or anything else. This is not what America is founded upon. By the way, you might be watching that going, but well, wait a minute, there's Koreatown in New York City, or there's Chinatown, or there's areas of Brooklyn where more Jews live. Yeah, but you can't make a whole community and say, okay, we're not going to sell to these other people, or we're going to take some of your mortgage payments and give it to the local mosques, et cetera, et cetera. So you see, again, they're using our system against us. Amy Meck, who is the founder of Rise, Align, Ignite, Reclaim Foundation, she has been talking about this story for years and years. And here's a bit more on what's going on there. She wrote, Allahu Akbar, Texas, a new Sharia city near Dallas. This is how no-go zones begin. This is how the West falls. Radical Imam Yasir Qadhi, a terror-linked extremist, is now building Epic City, a 1,000-plus home of his Islamic stronghold just 30 minutes from Dallas, complete with Sharia-compliant schools, a mosque, and commercial hubs. And he's selling it to non-Americans, pushing an Islamic separatist agenda right here in the heart of Texas. Declared, Jews and Christians are filthy and that their lives and property can be taken in jihad. Justified taking women as sex slaves in war. Bragged about the Muslim takeover of Sweden, calling birth rate a halal secret weapon. Raised funds for Hamas-linked charities. Was placed on the U.S. Department of Homeland Security's terrorist watch list. Graduated from the radical Islamic University of Medina. Denies the Holocaust, promoting the book, The Hoax of the Holocaust, and claiming Hitler never intended to mass destroy the Jews. Quoted the anti-Semitic forgery Protocols of the Elders of Zion to argue that Jews have no right to Israel. Supports replacing democracy with Sharia, calling the U.S. a pharaonic society built on slavery. Was an acolyte of Ali al-Tamimi, the Virginia-based imam currently serving life in prison for inciting jihad against U.S. troops. Will Americans push back, or will Texas become the next Malmo? Why are Republicans not speaking out? Well, first off, this imam sounds like he's going to be the next leader of the Democratic Party. But yes, Texans have had enough. They have had enough. They started looking into this. They started looking into the terror ties. They started looking into, can we have a Sharia compliant city? Is Sharia law compliant with the Constitution of the United States? Is it okay to build, if I bought a plot of land, just think about it this way. If I bought a plot of land, I bought a 1 acre plot of land, I split it into 4 quarter-acre plots, and I was like, I'm only going to sell them to white people, or I'm only going to sell them to black people. Would that be legal? Would you want that? Would that be in line with American values? I think we all know the answer to that. Finally, anyway, after weeks of this story just bubbling online and very few shows talking about it, because every time I talk about it, it's an uncomfortable thing to talk about. People are going to call you racist and everything else, but enough of this bull at this point. Finally, this has burst forth into the mainstream, and Texas Governor Greg Abbott discussed it with Laura Ingraham last night.
Well, in part by that statement, but also in part by information that we've gathered, there appear to be multiple violations that have taken place here. One is information has been provided to investors that appears to be misleading. Another is they appear to be in violation of fair housing laws. Also, we found that, they talk about doing all this building, but they don't have any building permits to actually do any building, and they have challenges even getting those building permits. Believe this or not, we've even received information that they may have been conducting a funeral home without legal authority. Bottom line, Laura, is that there were so many questions arose, especially information that we received, that led us to need to call the elite Texas Rangers to conduct a criminal investigation to find out if criminal laws in Texas have been violated.
Putting aside breaking of the law for a second, do you see why I'm trying to connect this to what's going on in Europe right now? We've done it right in this country. And do you want America to just be this dissected place where different people will live in different areas, and which ultimately will become warring factions? The promise of America was we took past warring factions and past religious hatreds and ethnic animosity and all of these things, and we brought everybody to America and we cleaned it up. And now there is a certain type of person that is using the tolerance of the left to use all of our laws and goodness and goodwill towards man against us. And we better figure it out. Here's another video, because it's not just Texas, Michigan. You know about Dearborn, Michigan, but here are two Muslims in Michigan talking about how when they create these cities, that they can use loopholes to make sure that non-Muslims won't show up.
So we're still debating on the name, but it's going to be something Muslim name and a village attached to it, right? The names of the streets, Khalid ibn al-Walid, Tariq bin Ziyad, all the great conquerors. People need to Google those conquerors, and then we want to have different sections like Andalusia, this, that, all our past glories, and we want to bring it back. What we're doing, brother, you cannot make it exclusive, non-Muslims not allowed, kuffar not allowed. What we're doing, there's something called association fee. I don't know what it's called in Dubai. Your maintenance fee that you pay yearly, to cutting the service fee, to cut the grass, to remove the snow and whatnot. So that service fee will put there 75% of the service fee you're paying goes to the mosque. Brother, we're putting an application now where we're selecting the names of the streets in the United States of America.
Do I have to comment on this? I mean, do you see what they are doing? They're telling you, here's how we're going to cheat the system. And would you like to live in a town where Muslim conquerors have streets named after them? Do you want to live in a town where you're paying your homeowners association fee or whatever they want to call it, and you find out that that money is going to a radical mosque? Do you want any of that? And again, do you just think that any of that has anything to do with America, what the promise of America is?